This is the vid of the pelon silo. So he zoomed in on the south pole of the moon. I used a scale from about, when he turns around upside down, I use a scale. I wait for the moon to be roughly this width. So if I get my tape measure out, I'm estimating it's about 35 centimeters wide. Now, if it's 3,500 kilometers wide, 1 centimeter is 100 kilometers. So that's how I get my scaling. So to just look at this top object up here, which we focus on, these two top objects, to get my tape measure out, from there to there is about half a centimeter long and it's about half a centimeter high. So we're talking about 50 kilometers for that object. So that's about 50 kilometers high as well. So it can't be just a few hundred meters high, because obviously that's the whole moon we're looking at. These are huge objects. If the scale is true, what we're told, that the moon, if you Google on Wikipedia, is that that diameter, 3,500. Now he'll try to zoom in, and we've got the heat effect happening here, which is some sort of blurring effect. So I zoomed in on the pictures up in this area here, and also one big crater has these objects coming right out the side. That's a huge hole. It isn't a crater. I mean, if we pause that, if that object on top was at least was about 50 kilometers long, that long pointed one there, well, that would be about 100, that would nearly be 150 kilometer wide hole. So it isn't just, it seems to be too black to be just a crater. That's a crater there, so it has a bottom to it. This is very deep. Now these objects are on the side wall, and actually grow on the side wall. I'll zoom in on them. That object, and the object down there. So the pictures I take are zooming in, especially that hole. It's a huge hole, and I don't see any bottom to that. That's the bizarre point. I see one there. That size crater should have a bottom to it. Here are the objects. If I pause that, the pictures I'll be taking is that object growing on a side wall, that large one, and this triangular one there, the large ones that seem to grow horizontally. And that object looks like a big fluffy flower from the edge of that, or whatever that is. Now that's still hollow, empty. That's huge. I can't see how that could be at that width of about 200 kilometers. We can't see the bottom to that. Now here's where he zooms in, and it's still a bit blurry. I'm not happy with the image quality. I'll try to do the best I can. So I'll try to pause at those moments. There's that object coming up, growing sideways. There's that triangular shape. There are these fluffy type of objects around that crater entrance. There's one there as well. That one there I'll focus in on, and that long one there. That area there, I've focused in on those objects there in that system as well that seem to be growing there. So I'm not happy with the quality, but I'll actually process the pictures. I'll try to pause it at key moments. I still don't see the bottom of that huge crater, so it's virtually like some sort of a tunnel there. Okay, that's a good zoom, but we've still got that mirage heat effect happening. I'm not sure if that's due to reflected heat off the surface. It'll be very reflective and just seems so bizarre. Yeah, it's very reflective. I'll try to go to the end of the video. So the scale we used, I'll try to pause it right there. Yeah, here are these objects. I think we just lost it. Sorry about that. So here are the objects that seem to be coming out of that wall there. They're very fluffy looking. There's that long one. I'll just pause it there if I can. That's it, we got a clear image. That is very, very deep. I'm focusing on those objects there that seem to be fluffy, vertical growing objects. The rod's there, the round object. It's very hard to get a clear image shot of that. I focused in on this object here as well. It's very dark and it sticks out a lot. I'm not sure what that is. On a scale of what these objects are, they're huge and massive, so it's very hard to comprehend how they can grow sideways. So at that sort of scale there, I think I had the moon was about 35 centimeters at the diameter. So it actually shows you the... I'll go to the pictures now. So here's the analysis of the objects on top. That's as clear as I can get these objects. So they just seem to be growing sideways. They're tubular cylinders. There's those two fluffy objects that seem to be on the inside of that huge hole. They just seem to be like clouds floating there. That's the clearest I can actually get those. I really have no clue what they are. They seem to be floating in space, and they're actually coming out of... They're on the wall here of that huge, huge entrance. It's about 200 kilometers. That's a good shot of whatever that is. Look at it. Wow. It's like a huge finger. So we estimated roughly that's about from there to there 50 kilometers long. And that's a massive. So that would be about 20 kilometers thick in there. These aren't small objects. That's the extension going back. There seems to be a vertical object there. There's that square object. It's got a fluffy type of... It looks square, then all of a sudden this comes off it. I can't alter that more to bring it up. It's very unusual what it is. It's square. It's like a square object, and all of a sudden you've got that happening. So again, if I had a clearer, less heat exposed area, it could be getting something there. There it is again. There's that, whatever it is, looks like a cloud hanging around. Look at it, so bizarre. And it's coming from in that hole. Another view, another view. View of the cylinders there going sideways. Twisting object there. There's one more view of that fluffy type of cloud object that just hangs around out of that hole. That's huge. That would be at least 50 to 100 kilometers. Massive. Unfortunately, the material is not that good. There's that dark object just sits there, and I can't do any more with it. Okay, so the most interesting features are obviously this object up there. I'll repeat that again. And right near the huge entrance, there's that fluffy type of tree-like growth right near the entrance. There it is again. I'm not sure what it is, but there it is. And that's all.